All right, guys, let's see. What have I been wearing this week? It's been maybe a little bit chillier this week in a way. And it was Halloween as well. So let's see what I've got. I'm going to start with this one. Um, Beautiful. Okay, this is the most expensive thing I've got here for sure, although I did get this on eBay, partially used. So this is Eau Duelle EDP. Not that you can barely tell it was partially used. Someone obviously did not like this perfume. So I've got the EDT and this is the EDP, and I would say they're not massively different, to be honest. I feel like the EDT is actually slightly more vanillic in a way, more obviously vanillic, and it's maybe a bit greener. The EDP, I think, is maybe a little bit smokier, if that makes sense, because there's an incense note, but it still is extremely similar to wear them. It's like a really similar experience to wear them both. So it only says bourbon, vanilla, incense, cypriol oil, and pink pepper here, but I mean, I don't know. I feel like the original has like black tea and all kinds of stuff in it, and I feel like this smells so similar. It's probably the same. I feel like it's probably the same, but it has an incense note. um, that's what I'm thinking might be the case with this. Um, it's the same as Eau Duelle in that you kind of, it's not like super obvious. It's not like you're walking around being like, oh my god, I smell so strong, but it kind of lasts forever. And like when I get in the shower the next day after I've worn Eau Duelle, either of them, as soon as the hot water hits me, my whole shower smells like a gentle vanilla. So it does stick around, it really does. I think actually, to be honest, I get that with all of my Diptyque perfumes. They're kind of subtle, they're perfect for fuss pots, but when I get in the shower the next day, or like sometimes when I wake up in the morning, I can still smell it. It's just subtle and it lasts forever on clothing. So yeah, very expensive, but really pretty, beautiful. If I could only have one, I'd probably go for the EDT just because it's a little bit cheaper. And they are so similar, but I do like having this one because something about that slight incensey smokiness that you get on top of this kind of slightly green vanilla. It just gives it a little bit more of a cold weather feel to me, but they're almost they're almost the same. Do you know what I mean? Next up, we have some. I saw a 50 ml bottle of this for like £19 the other day, and I feel like I got this one for not much more. I put this on Halloween morning, and then I thoroughly regretted it. I have to be honest about that. I just wasn't in the right mood for this. So this is Amethyst from Lalique, and you can see I do have like, I don't know if you can see, there is actually a little dent in this rather large bottle. Um, Beautiful bottle, so gorgeous, isn't it? I love it. Um, so yeah, I mean the thing with this is that it's very musky, it's very soapy. It's not particularly sweet. It's like unripened berries. Um, and I just wasn't in the right mood for something that was quite this unsweetened and musky. And I put it on because I was working from home on Halloween and I wasn't going out of the house, so I didn't want to wear something like the dupe I have of Poison, which is what I really wanted to wear on Halloween, because that I think is going to be a bit overwhelming if I'm just sitting indoors, and I'm not out and about. So I just decided to put this one on because it does give me a bit of a Halloweeny feel. But actually, again, I feel like amethyst is something I much prefer to wear out of the house. I don't I I don't really know how to describe how I differentiate there, but there's some things that I only like wearing in the house and some things I only like wearing when I'm outside of the house. It's like, for instance, I would never wear Philosophy Fresh Cream, the original, out of this house. It is a cozy, comforting, sweet perfume to wear indoors. It's not something that I think I'd enjoy outside. And some of the really sweet perfumes, same with like Al Nuaim Chocolate Musk, I like them in a cozy indoor setting. I don't like them out of the house. I find them a bit sickly. And this one, it just feels too woodsy and outdoorsy and cool, and it doesn't feel cozy enough for me to be wearing indoors. I think that might be what it is. Because it is very soapy, very musky. Oh, the notes, by the way: blackcurrant, blackberry, blueberry, mulberry, and big strawberry. Middle notes of pepper, that's black pepper by the looks of it, peony, rose, ylang ylang. Base notes: musk, woodsy notes, and bourbon vanilla. And you don't really get much of the vanilla. I mean, look, this is absolutely beautiful. It still is. It's not like I sprayed it and I didn't like the perfume. I just regretted that this is what I'd put on, because it wasn't suiting my mood. It wasn't suiting being at home with the heating on, trying to be cozy while I was working from home. It just didn't match up with that mood. This smells like, I mean, if I had been dressed up as a witch and I'd been out on Halloween, this would be perfect. For a green witch. Yeah, and smelling it again now, I'm just like, it is so beautiful. But yeah, this is an out of the house one for me. Yeah, I'm just going to have to mark that up for definitely being an out of the house one. And it's the same with things like Cacharel Noah and even to a certain extent Pure Poison. I much prefer them out of the house. There's something about the thick, musky soapiness of those perfumes that I much prefer in the outdoor world. Maybe I just find them a bit overwhelming. I think it might be I find them a bit overwhelming if I'm just sitting around indoors. All right, next up. Let's go for, I've got room, so let's put it here. Obviously, I wore one of my Mon Guerlains because I wear them all the time because I'm obsessed. And genuinely, if I'd have discovered this perfume before I started this channel, I think it's really... I mean, I'm tossing it up because I didn't like sweet perfumes the same way I do now. But then it took me a long time to find the right kind of sweet perfume for me. So maybe I'd have smelt this and thought it was too sweet. But maybe this would have become a signature and I wouldn't be making these videos because I'm that obsessed with Mon Guerlain. I'm absolutely obsessed with it. So I wore the original because it's so delicious. I can't get enough of it. I've got a little pen spray I can take to work. It's just one of the greatest, most beautiful, comforting perfumes ever. And here goes a really unusual story. A stranger told me I smelt really good. That does not happen very often in the UK. People don't talk to each other about their perfumes. It's really rare unless it's someone that I in some way know. So for instance, like, you know, friends, family, and the guy who used to work in the parcel shop that I go to, he would quite often comment on my perfumes being nice because like I kind of knew him. I saw him a lot. I went into the post office to post something and a lady I've never met before, she was doing my... proof of postage receipt. I was actually sending a perfume, and she just said, "You smell so good," and I was like, "Oh my god, thank you." I'm wearing Mon Guerlain, and she went, "Oh, it smells real good," and I was like, "Oh, I knew it. It's so good." I feel like this is an actual compliment getter, and like I said, like it's so rare for people to just, you know, who don't know you to be like, "Oh, you smell really good." It so rarely happens. But this is, it's just perfection. It's so beautiful. So, lavender bergamot in the top, and then iris, jasmine, sambac, and rose in the mid. Tahitian vanilla, coumarin, Australian sandalwood, licorice, benzoin, and patchouli in the base. It's all of my favourite things. I love sandalwood. I love benzoin. I love coumarin. I love licorice. I really like iris. I love lavender. You know, there's only a couple of notes here that like aren't normally my favourite, but it's so good. It's so good. Oh yes, so when I put this on and I regretted it, I wore it like for hours and then I was like, I need to put something sweet over the top of this, and because I'd been really craving to wear Poison, I'm definitely, as soon as it gets a bit chilly, I'm going to wear that out. I need to wear it out of the house. I was thinking of that kind of yummy, grapey, bubblegummy smell, so I put on grape soda, and I have to say, they actually went really nicely together. So yeah, Lush grape soda. It is exactly what it says on the bottle. It smells like grape soda, and it is absolutely scrummy, absolutely delicious, and I love it. It just says grape, juniper berry, and orange oil on Fragrantica. I don't think grape is an actual note, but somehow with whatever they've done in here, it smells like grape soda, like American grape soda. Or maybe actually a bit more like an English version of American grape soda, but it's amazing. I love it, and I just really enjoyed wearing it again, and it, yeah, like I said, it went quite well with this. It toned down the musky soapiness, and it brought out the sweetness of the kind of berry fruity sweetness, so actually kind of a good combo, but yeah. And then I also wore Space Girl. I did the doubler this week. So Space Girl from Lush. I think this one smells a little bit like a kind of citrusy cake Like, I think it's just really pretty because this is grapefruit, almond and bergamot. That's what they tell you. But the almond is kind of creamy. It's really got a nice sweetness while also having a sherbety, citrusy grapefruit, but it's not bitter. So unlike some of the other Lush perfumes that have the citruses with the really creamy sweet stuff, I'm not getting the like intense bitterness that I get with those. Because for instance, like Super Milk and I think it's called Chelsea Morning, those have very bitter citruses in. They have the lovely citrusy juice, but they also smell like they have the pith and the peel and the oil in there. And that with the sweetness, it just doesn't work on my skin for some reason. I find it really jarring, and I can't wear those perfumes. This doesn't have that, but it has the general kind of lush citrus with this lovely creamy sweetness. So yeah, I mean, I love it. And grape soda has sold out online and in the big Oxford Street store, so that's gutted because it's a limited edition. I love it. Space Girl, I saw, I think that one's still there. I'm pretty sure I saw that when I was in there. I'll come back to Lush at the end of the video. So what else have we got? Oh yeah. Oh, I haven't worn this one for ages, and you'll have already seen this if you watched my Friday video, but I wore my Hugo Boss Hugo Woman Eau de Parfum in this cute little bottle. And it's so pretty, and I think I said in that video, super work appropriate. It's a tea perfume, but it's also a fruity perfume, and it's also like a kind of slightly green perfume, slightly floral, very full of sandalwood. It's really pretty, this perfume. I think it smells delicious. And again, as I said in that video, Electric Rhubarb from Floral Street kind of smells like a chemically rip-off of this, and this one's more affordable, and it's just lovely. So this is bosenberry, Italian mandarin and grass in the top, mid notes of plum, black tea, jasmine and iris in the middle. I've already said that. Base notes sandalwood, amber and cedar. It's just lovely. It's a perfect office kind of scent. I think it has a sweetness in it when it dries down that smells a little bit like there's vanilla in here. And I do think there's probably way more notes than this. Yeah, but it's lovely. I really like it, and I'm very glad to have it, and I'd forgotten how much I liked it. And interestingly enough, yeah, because I have this one as well. This is the extreme version, which is like fruitier and not quite as warm and cozy. So I need to decide if I'm going to keep both of these, because I said in the video I'd get rid of this one, but actually it's really nice as well. So I'm trying to work out what to do about that. But anyway, possibly on the chopping block, but I'm keeping the original. So then I also wore this, and I keep reaching for this one because I really want to wear Lolita Lempicka Le Parfum, and it is not cold enough. I've been waiting for it to get cold enough for me to wear that. So when I get the craving for that, because this has like little hints of it, I've been wearing Mon Eau from Lolita Lempicka, because this still has the anise and it still has a bit of violet. It's quite a different perfume overall, but it has just enough of the kick of that kind of musky, spicy, violety feel with a bit of fruitiness that I get from the original Lolita Lempicka. So yeah, I'm just like, can we just decide that it's cold in the general world, in the weather, so I can start wearing that again, because I love it. But I know it's just so sweet, it just becomes very overwhelming if I wear that when it's mild. So yeah, I've got in the top notes anise, raspberry leaf and blackberry, lime, lemon and mandarin orange. Mid notes are chamomile and iris, blackcurrant, jasmine, sambac, rose and lily of the valley. Base notes violet, white musk, sandalwood. It's Lush. It's really kind of soapy, musky, creamy, but very fruity. It's quite soothing. It's a little bit spicy. The deep dry down really does remind me a lot of Lanvin's Jeanne. I think that one really, that's like a really musky freesia raspberry kind of perfume, that one, and it's delicious. I have a bottle of that Although I'm trying to decide at the moment whether, because this has the spiciness, this is the one I prefer, and I'll keep this little bottle because I've got a massive bottle of Jeanne, so I need to try that one again. I've got a whole load of perfumes that I need to test out to see whether I want to keep them, and especially where I have what I consider to be duplication, so I'm trying to do that at the moment. But yeah, I really like this, and people really are rude about this on Fragrantica. People don't like it. I'm not sure why. I don't know if it's because they want something that just smells like a kind of EDT version of the original Lolita Lempicka, but I think this is super pretty. It's really kind of feminine, innocent, lovely, but also has that slight hint of sexiness because it's got the musky yumminess, and then it has that slight spicy anise in it. So anyway, oh, and another Lolita Lempicka, but not at the actual real one because you can't get it anymore. I mentioned this last week, but I wore it to work this week. Beautiful, lovely, gorgeous. So this is Elder Lolita from Lolita Lempicka. It's a dupe from Perfume Parlour called Bordeaux 2 for women. But luckily, like with their site, if you just put in Lolita, Elder Lolita, it'll come up. You'll be able to find it. All right. So the notes in the original are bitter orange and bergamot. Middle notes are cinnamon, immortelle and musk. Base notes are vanilla, tonka bean and sandalwood. So it's classic Lolita Lempicka. You've got a muskiness, it's really sweet. You've got some kind of really yummy fruit, and then you've got spice. It's just a classic concoction. The immortelle in here is quite interesting. It's got this kind of... I mean, how do you even describe immortelle? Hay isn't quite what I want to say, but it's like a kind of greenish... maybe hay, I don't know. It's got quite an interesting scent to it anyway. And I think it's what makes this quite a nice perfume to wear, because it does smell, or I should say, Lyra smells quite similar to this from Xerjoff, but the floral in that is jasmine, I think. So I find it a little bit more sickly. No, it's not quite as easygoing as this. I do really like Lyra, to be fair. Like, I really like it, and I think has it got licorice or something? And I love licorice, so I like that one a lot as well. But I feel like it just, because the florals are a little bit more interesting and a little bit less classically floral, this one's kind of a bit easier to wear. Sadly, I've never smelt the original because I've never been able to get hold of it, but and it was discontinued before I was on my perfume journey. You know, I do love the bottle though. I'd love to have the original to smell it. But people on Perfume Parlour's website, some of them actually prefer this version for some reason. So it's creamy. It smells, I mean, it just smells like a classic citrusy vanilla. And it's a really good alternative and really affordable, because I think this, what is this? Is this like a 13ml bottle? I think it might have cost me about £8. So yeah, it's good. It's not the longest lasting, but it is also quite new. They only just brought this out again, so we'll see what happens to this once it has been sitting for a while, because it's also still quite pale, but it's quite a vanillic perfume. So it'll be interesting to see if that one, like the original Lolita Lempicka, gets a bit darker. Excellent, highly recommend it. So then I went to Lush because I wanted to get... I'll actually do a little video on here. Anyone who's not interested in makeup won't be interested in watching it, but I'll put it up on one of my non-perfume video days. I've just been trying out some different kind of lippies that are similar to Black Honey from Clinique, because I really like that one. It is a bit expensive, but also I've got quite dark lips, so I've been trying to find like good alternatives to that one, or maybe slightly darker. And I saw Sarah Jameson on Instagram. She does amazing Lush videos if you're interested, and a fellow Brit. She was talking about the makeup that you can only get in certain stores, which is extremely annoying. That I really hate that about Lush. But they have a little cola lip tint, so I wanted to go and get that. Anyway, long story. I went in to get that, and then I went down to have a look at the perfumes they bring out every Christmas. I wanted to re-smell Tumeric Latte. But while I was down there, I noticed that they have Yog Nog out as a body spray. And I was like, oh, that's amazing, because I want to be able to talk about Yog Nog, because I just have this little pen spray of Yog Nog, and this is an absolute beast. It is one, I think it might be one of the strongest perfumes I've ever had. So I tried out, I sprayed it on my skin. I sprayed the body spray on my wrist, on the top of my wrist and a bit of my arm. And because they're these big boys, obviously, there's a lot. Oh my God, it is the perfect version of Yog Nog, because it's not as strong as the perfume, so it's not as overwhelming, but it's still incredibly strong. And it is like, oh my God, I mean, it lasted literally forever. I could still smell, I sprayed it on at like, I reckon about 5 o'clock. And I could still smell that perfume at like 10 o'clock in the morning the next day, like until I washed it off. And it's a body spray. Absolutely incredible longevity, unbelievably strong. I could smell it over everything else that I had on, and I sprayed on Tumeric Latte. I'll talk about that in a sec. So yeah, I really recommend it, but definitely don't blind buy Yog Nog. I was watching someone, I do apologise, I've forgotten her name. I think it's like Budget Beauty? I can't remember. But there's an American lady, and I haven't really watched much of her stuff, but the algorithm threw up a video because she'd bought some Lush perfumes. So I thought it would be fun. I went and had a look. She'd bought, I think, Chelsea Morning, Sticky Dates and Snow Fairy. And oh my God, did she hate Snow Fairy. She hated that perfume so much that she literally told everyone never to buy it. She was like, I'm warning you to not get this disgusting perfume. She said she thought it was disgusting. Her daughter thought it was disgusting. And a lot of people in the comments also thought it was disgusting. And then I'm sitting here going, oh, I thought Snow Fairy was like an easy one. I like Snow Fairy a lot. And it's very, very popular. It's one of Lush's most popular things. And my husband loves it as well. I don't know, maybe they've changed the formula. I should have smelt it, shouldn't I? I should have tested it to see whether they've changed it. But yeah, and it really made me think, oh yes, actually, it's so subjective. And Lush is like, you know, if you can get to a Lush shop, you should definitely smell things before you buy them, because that was a very extreme reaction. That's completely the opposite of mine. So I would have thought it was a relatively safe blind buy if you like the idea of like cherry and like bubble gum and like sweeties, but no, not at all. So yeah, there you go. So I'm saying, do not buy Yog Nog blind. It only lists clove and ylang ylang, but it smells like an incredibly spicy custard to me. It's got this custardy, vanilla-y scent in the base. It's probably, I wonder if it's full of benzoin. Maybe it is. I don't know what's on here. Oh my God, the writing's so small. I can't really see it in this light, but there's definitely loads of clove bud. There's ylang ylang for sure. Yeah, I mean, I can't really see what else might be. I mean, benzyl and benzonate and all of these things. It's a mystery as to how this smells the way it does. But it smells slightly custardy, it's sweet, and then it's extremely spicy. It really smells like Christmas. It's almost like a very, very intense version of like a Christmas bread, something like a panettone, but like a million times more spicy. Like I don't know, like it's really an acquired taste, but I really do think that the body spray is like the nicest version of it. And I mean, you get 200 mils. I don't know how much that one is. I didn't check, but like it's normally about like 35 pounds, I think, for the limited editions. And it's so strong that will last you for your entire life. Like it is crazy how strong that one is. But yeah, I mean, if you can get there to smell it, I really like Yog Nog. I tend to wear it like once a year, and I'll wear it in like the Christmas period. But yeah, I think it's amazing, but it's strong. But I do think the body spray is the best version I've smelt of it, because this can be very overwhelming. It's literally like one spray and kind of quickly wipe it around, you know. It would be better as like a tiny dabber or something. It's so pungent. But the body spray, definitely, you could do one spray of that and you'd be done for the day. Like, it's incredible. So I tried Turmeric Latte as well, because I've had that in my collection before very briefly, and then I wasn't loving it, so I returned it. And I did say I was going to come back and smell it again. I tested it again and it is going to come back to my collection because I feel like maybe last year I wasn't really in the mood for it, or maybe I'm just craving things that are a bit more kind of smoky. Um, and I'm not really sure why it smells so smoky, but it's tonka bean, vanilla, turmeric, and benzoin apparently. And benzoin again is that thing that gives me this kind of gingerbready smell, especially the Lush benzoin. I know not everyone gets that, but I really think it smells like a really nice gingerbready smell. Um, but the tonka is so sweet and creamy, but it really just smells like a smoky tonka bean to me, and I was really digging it. It wasn't as strong as the Yog Nog body spray, and it didn't last anywhere near as long as the Yog Nog body spray, despite it being a perfume. But that kind of works for me because it's nice to have something that I just get a whiff of and is a bit sweet and tasty, and it doesn't just entirely overwhelm me, you know. But yeah, I mean, it has that kind of slight dryness that you get from turmeric, you know, that kind of slightly dry powderiness, but it's very sweet. It's quite creamy. Does it smell anything like a turmeric latte? I don't really think so. I'm not really getting that from it. I feel like it's sweet, but not necessarily in like that sugary way that turmeric lattes tend to be. But I mean, I think it's lovely. So yeah, that one's on its way to me because I had to do a Lush order because they didn't have what I wanted in store, but they still had it online. I was trying to get hold of the Beetlejuice shower gel because it's grape soda scented and I need that in my life. So I've done a little order for us for Christmas and ordered some bits. I think that is everything. Yeah, that is everything. I am going to make my way back to Lush as soon as the Wicked collection is in store because they've got 2 new body sprays. They both look like they're going to be awesome. One looks like it's going to be a green vanilla but isn't Lord of Misrule. And one looks, yes, I think it looks like it's going to be like a green woody vanilla, like a foresty vanilla. So that'll be interesting. And the other one I think has some gourmand notes. I think it has pistachio in it. So I mean, I think they might also be £40. So they're going to have to be pretty good. Although again, £40 for 200 ml for a Lush, you know, Lush ones tend to last quite well. So anyway, I will get back to you as soon as those actually come out. I think they're coming out on the 11th of November in store, so I'll have to wait. There's a pop-up at St Pancras, but I don't think I'm going to have time to get there before it actually comes out. It's easier for me to go to Oxford Circus. So, oh my God, I've been talking for ages again, even though I haven't got a huge amount of perfumes here. So yeah, that was my week. I think I really only had the one misstep and everything else was pretty yummy. I will be back. I hope you enjoyed my Halloween video. It was just a little fun one. And I loved Agatha all along. It was a great finale as well. And it's just so fun. Hopefully, we'll get more of that style of thing. I want more MCU witches, please. Give me all the witches. Let me know what you've been wearing down below. If you like my rambly videos, please do consider subscribing if you're not already. It really helps my channel. You are all very wonderful, and whatever I've got coming up on Wednesday, I hope you enjoy that too. All right, bye guys.